Leaders don't lose respect because they make bad decisions. They lose it because they're always on. Every ping, every instant reply, every just checking in quietly strips authority away. In the next 7 minutes, you'll learn the stoic ritual that restores respect without saying a word. Watch closely, because once you see this, you can't unsee it. Most people believe respect at work comes from hard work, competence, or charm. Here's the catch. They're overlooking the invisible factor that actually controls influence, your presence or absence within the system. Studies show that leaders who are constantly available are often the least respected. Predictability creates control, but control is the currency of others, not yours. Being everywhere, replying instantly, and appearing indispensable can quietly erode authority. Influence isn't earned by being present all the time. It is silently reinforced through thoughtful absence, timing, and selective engagement. Availability feels helpful, but it's silently eroding your authority. Take Daniel, a 35-year-old project manager. He is always the first to reply on Slack, the last to leave the office, and the go-to person for decisions even before the boss weighs in. Initially, it seems like influence. Everyone notices him, and his input appears essential. But here's the paradox. The very presence that seems to command authority slowly begins to dilute it. Colleagues stop taking initiatives without consulting him. Meetings drag on because his opinion is expected. Requests arrive constantly without any filter. Daniel's presence is everywhere, but his authority feels diluted. What he doesn't realize is that constant access is a subtle way others manage him, turning his availability into a leash. Silence isn't rude, it's control. This phenomenon is known in psychology as social entanglement, the cognitive and emotional load on individuals who remain perpetually accessible. Research in organizational behavior consistently shows that leaders who limit accessibility are perceived as more competent, strategic, and authoritative. One study in Harvard Business Review found that employees rated managers who responded selectively and maintained deliberate boundaries as 25% more influential than those who answered every request immediately. The mechanism is simple. Predictability gives leverage to others. Scarcity gives leverage to you. And later, you'll see why each choice to disappear or respond is a signal that consolidates authority silently. Trapped in reactions like Daniel? Here's your escape. Here are 7 dark psychology tricks to gain respect at work. 1. Control your availability. Being constantly reachable might seem helpful, but it quietly undermines your influence. Every instant reply, every immediate response to a message or request chips away at your authority. When people know you will always answer, they begin to adjust their actions and timing based on your availability rather than making independent decisions. Your schedule starts to dictate theirs, and your influence becomes reactive instead of proactive. If you want influence, timing must be yours, not theirs. In contrast, selectively responding gives you control over the pace and flow of interactions. You are no longer simply reacting to requests, you are guiding the rhythm of engagement. Colleagues begin to anticipate your responses, pause before acting, and approach you thoughtfully rather than automatically. Even a manager who wants to be helpful can fall into this trap. By answering every email immediately, they become predictable, and predictability erodes power. Strategic unavailability transforms presence into authority. Comment your availability trap. 3 insights that restore your tempo in 90 seconds flat. 2. Silence is strategic. Many overcommunicate, thinking clarity builds trust, but withholding commentary can be far more powerful. Ambiguity forces others to interpret your intentions instead of predicting them. Groups often act more deliberately when faced with uncertainty, recalibrating their behavior around the ambiguous individual. Emma, a team lead, stopped giving her opinions in weekly updates. Her team began thinking independently, pausing before acting, and respecting her decisions because automatic approval was no longer assumed. Notice how her silence became a lever. Behavior changed without a word of instruction. One pause changed her team forever. Watch how. Silence isn't passive, it's positioning. Stay tuned, as trick 3 is the one that quietly separates managers from leaders. 3. Let others fill the gaps. Constantly explaining yourself can quietly erode your authority. When you provide full context for every decision or action, people stop thinking independently and start relying on you for guidance. Withholding some information, on the other hand, forces colleagues to fill in the gaps themselves. You are no longer just guiding actions, you are shaping thought patterns indirectly. For example, a senior developer who leaves notes intentionally incomplete finds that junior staff begin anticipating his reasoning. They self-correct, adapt, and make decisions in line with his expectations, all without direct instruction. Over time, respect grows not because of overt control, but because others recognize your influence through their own actions. Wrong. Scarcity doesn't isolate, it commands respect. 4. Manage emotional exposure. Oversharing personal reactions invites manipulation. Emotional leakage allows others to influence your state, subtly controlling you. Maintaining emotional containment prevents this and strengthens perceived authority. Think of each emotional reaction as a currency. Spend it sparingly. A manager receiving criticism who stays measured and calm signals that their position is unassailable. Influence shifts quietly. People learn that their attempts to provoke, persuade, or sway you emotionally are ineffective, which reinforces your status. Emotional mystery protects power. The next trick is where most people flinch. 5. Prioritize scarcity over visibility. Being constantly visible diminishes impact. Scarcity, on the other hand, amplifies perceived value. Humans overvalue limited access subconsciously. A director who attends only critical meetings finds that every word carries weight. Colleagues pause before approaching, unconsciously acknowledging authority. By strategically limiting visibility, each interaction becomes meaningful, and respect grows naturally. The principle: presence must be earned, not assumed. Availability creates noise. Absence creates signal. 6. Strategic early exits. Lingering too long in interactions dilutes power. Leaving before energy peaks or intimacy forms ensures encounters remain transactional, not relational. Emotional closeness often reduces authority. Distance preserves it. During long negotiations, an executive leaving the room after stating a decisive position forces colleagues to internalize authority in her absence. Her influence consolidates silently, without confrontation. Subtle timing changes the psychology of every follow-up conversation. Power fades when you overstay. 7. Let the system adjust. Changing behavior without patience fails. When you alter accessibility, your environment will resist, testing boundaries or appealing to expectation. These are not attacks. They are attempts to restore predictability. Consistency is key. After weeks of selective responses, colleagues begin to wait, measure, and hesitate. Influence consolidates without any direct effort. The social system recalibrates in your favor. This is the hidden engine behind authority. Quiet, patient, and mechanical. Respect isn't demanded, it's engineered. Action plan to put these principles into practice. Response control. Decide when and how to respond. Don't act on urgency alone. Respond strategically. Track which interactions dominate your schedule and gradually reduce automatic responses. Information discipline. Stop explaining every action. Let results communicate your intent. Controlled information forces others to pause, calculate, and adjust, elevating your authority. Emotional containment. Avoid reflexive displays of irritation, approval, or anxiety. Emotional ambiguity protects your position. Introduce scarcity. Attend only high-impact interactions, limiting trivial availability. Every presence should carry purpose. Strategic withdrawal and re-entry. Step back when authority weakens and return when absence has created a vacuum. Avoid over-explaining your return. Presence alone signals authority. Returning to Daniel after applying these principles, his day transformed. He no longer reacted to every Slack message or hovered over every decision. Colleagues hesitated before assuming his input was required. Meetings shortened, Requests arrive filtered and intentional. Influence now flowed upward rather than outward. Daniel didn't become more charismatic or work harder. He became mechanically powerful. The most effective leaders aren't the loudest or busiest. They are those operating outside social gravity. Their influence is intrinsic, no longer borrowed. Independence becomes leverage. The office adjusts subtly around them, authority solidifies, and resistance diminishes quietly. Presence without structure is weakness. Absence with strategy is respect. Implement these 7 tricks thoughtfully. Monitor reactions. Let the system recalibrate. Respect will not be demanded. It will be granted silently and consistently. Start today. Choose one principle, apply it immediately, and watch how influence shifts without a single confrontation. If you found this useful, subscribe for more psychology-driven breakdowns like this and start reclaiming authority at work today.